All right. Hello and welcome everybody to the Red Bra Project. It is so great to see everyone, our viewers. Welcome back. Shauna, how's it going?
It is going very well. It was 65 degrees here in Massachusetts today in the middle of March. I cannot complain.
Oh my gosh, you have to be in shorts and flip-flops.
I should have been, yes, but I still went out in my coat just in case, because a brisk wind could just suddenly hit here. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are so excited to be here tonight with our amazing guests. So this is for episode, I don't know if our viewers know what tonight's episode number is, but number 5. Oh, this is episode 50. I know. I feel like the gold glitter should come down.
Right? It's like the American Idol confetti.
So,
I loved it.
We are so excited to introduce the beautiful, talented, we cannot wait for her to share her story with you guys. You are going to love it. Nelma Sumbe, episode number 50. Welcome to the Red Bra Project, Nelma. We're so excited to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we are so excited. So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about where you're coming to us from tonight, a little bit about your story that you're going to share with us, and kind of, what you're doing here with us.
Okay, well, I am coming to you guys live from Houston, Texas. I live here. I've been here for about 22 years. This year it'll be. I am originally from Angola, West Africa, and I moved here in 1998 with my parents. They were in oil and gas at the time. But yes, and I am so excited and obviously a little bit nervous to, just tell you guys about, everything that I do and why I feel like, the Red Bra Project is something that is going to become even closer to me than I've already become close to.
Oh, I love that. Well, Nelma, I searched out you. I found you through Instagram, and I immediately was just captivated by your photos that you have there, and it kind of led me to some articles that were talking about what you do. So can you share with our community what it is you do as a profession and how I kind of stumbled upon you?
Yes, so I am a plant-based chef here in Houston. I have recently transitioned. I transitioned about 90 days ago. Before I transitioned to fully plant-based, the entire concept has just been based on having whole, natural, organic food, whether it's with catering, whether it's with meal prepping, whether it's with your day-to-day. The whole concept of Naturally Nelma is just on living and feeling authentically natural, feeling good inside and out. At first, it started out with just food. I started out in culinary school in 2014. And after I left, I realized that hospitality may not be entirely the place for me because I was so much more focused on, how can food make me feel good versus, just looking delicious and having high ratings. And of course, you want the food to be delicious, but it also has to be healthy. I remember taking a nutrition class where my teacher asked me to transform a lasagna by Patti LaBelle and make it healthy. And
that's a huge task. Can I just say,
yes,
anyone knows who
it was a 4,000 calorie lasagna, 4,000 calorie lasagna. And I reduced it to about 1,800 calories. And it was based with turkey and a lot of vegetables, a lot of colors. And that was that moment where I was like, I think I have something here. I really do think I have something here. I was picked on a little bit in culinary school for being like the green girl. I was very small. I was very petite, even though I was, quite skilled. And one day someone just made a joke, "Oh, Miss Natural, Miss Nelma." And I was like, Naturally Nelma. Close. Thank you.
Thank you for naming my company.
Exactly. So that's kind of how it got started. And yeah, it's been a trip of an entrepreneur. So I jumped off a plane and I had to build a plane on the way down, and it's still building for sure. But it's been a wild ride, and I absolutely love it.
That is so cool. I love that example too.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, give me the challenge next.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It sounds like you have always had an interest in nutrition. You went to school, to a culinary school. So what kind of, if you had to rewind, what had you, first interested, or what piqued your interest then?
If I have to go all the way back to my childhood, I would have to say my mom's mom, my grandma, is a huge influence on culinary as a whole. I just have memories of I sometimes don't even know if these are real memories or if they were dreams, but I just remember waking up and there was bread in the air. Like, anybody that knows me, I love bread. I sometimes feel like if I go a day without bread, like I get headaches and I get really grumpy. So it's so connected. And it was the fact that she just did it so effortlessly. It didn't seem like she was waking up to do a chore. It was something that she loved doing. And I come from a very huge family. I have almost over 100 cousins in Angola. And so imagine that growing up, and it's just a bunch of kids everywhere eating good food. And that's kind of where it really came from. When it comes to nutrition, I would have to say it's more connected with my adolescence, with issues, just growing up and body image problems. And it was this consistent battle to fit this beauty standard that had absolutely nothing to do with me, because my body was just completely different from other bodies that I was looking at. And so it really has been, this personal journey of self-identity and self-love and self-care to just truly embrace, just nutrition, embrace my body, embrace the career, and tying that all together, because, I feel like we live in such a stressed out world. We don't have time to do anything. Every time we want to get something, it's, quick here, GMO there. You don't know what's in the ingredients. So working with someone who is passionate about just, always making sure that what's going into your body is healing you, I feel like that's what we're walking into as we're going into the future. Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful what you're doing, because I'm a single mom and I try and rush around and I get my kids not the healthiest of meals, including myself. And so if I had somebody in my life that could help teach me what was beneficial for me and my kids, and I think that we just don't put the time into that because we don't know how.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely a demand that I've been receiving. Everything that I've been doing is so local, but I do want to find a way to just start expanding. And so, we are working on a YouTube channel that is going to be, much more instructional, just teaching very simple meals. Like today I made like a 3-bean salad. It is super full of nutrients, and it took me about 15 minutes to make, and I have enough for the rest of the week, So putting that sort of information out there is going to be so much more supplemental to people who need it, because people are always saying, oh, being plant-based is so expensive. And it's just like, that's not really the case. It can be very expensive when you're dealing with processed meats, when you're dealing with, protein substitute versus going to the source. But it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. I've lost my curviness, even though I'm still curvy, but it's one of those, it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
Do you feel like, how do you take the intimidation away from somebody who's considering to go plant-based? And maybe they've thought about it, they've heard about it, they know it could be good for them, but they were kind of afraid because it can be intimidating.
I think the most intimidating part about it is not being prepared. You need to anticipate you need to know what your schedule is like. And there is some self-discipline that is truly required because of our world schedule. If you're working from 9 to 5, you need to be prepared for that. There have been situations in the beginning of my transition when I caught myself in a place that had nothing to offer me. And I'm like, right, I'm either gonna eat this piece of bread and starve, or I'm just gonna have to eat some fish or something, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to just be malnourished for the cause. That's not the point. The point is to feed yourself well, be good to your body while avoiding as best as you can to not cause any harm to these animals. Because at the end of the day, the meat is at the store. You know what I mean? It's just like, we cannot do anything about that. So as long as we're boycotting it and shortening it down, then the systems are going to fall naturally. But yeah, I do believe that educating versus just telling people what they should be doing and should not be doing is so much more important.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult was it for you to get into a career as a chef? And I ask that because I've heard from a lot of chefs just that maybe that's not an accepted career in their family. Did you face any of those struggles?
Mom, I love you so much. But whenever I told my mom I was going to be a chef, she was like, you're going to cook for people, like a servant? And I was like, wasn't Jesus Christ a carpenter? And she was like all the way quiet, you know? And it was interesting, especially coming from an African family. You know, we have the top lineup: lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects, I don't know what else. And it's fascinating because, you know, I definitely started out college going into pre-law, and I was very into it until I realized that, you know, it was just not my fit. And I wanted to do something in life that wasn't corrupted. And that's what I was really thinking about. I tried law and I was like, law's corrupt. Tried journalism, journalism's corrupt. Went into food and I'm like, there's no way you can corrupt food. Like, it's so pure. And then that's a total lie, because we have GMOs and we have processed foods and we have all this stuff. But that's the duality of it, you know? So trying to be more on that side of light with food was basically my goal. And it was honestly easy for me because it's what I wanted. And I've noticed that to get other people to, you know, join that sort of energy, it's only best shown through example, you know, because yeah, it's only best shown through example. Because I be trying to tell people, like, oh, try this and try that. They're like, not ready for it yet. But I just tell people it's not that hard. You just gotta like really be a bit disciplined with yourself.
So do you cook for your family now? You just kind of cook things and they try it. You don't really tell them what it is until later and still watch their reaction.
Yeah, I do. I'm so sneaky about it. Today I actually made them an omelet. I made my dad a breakfast omelet with just eggs. And he was like, it was the cutest thing. He was like, oh my God, it's just like eggs. And I'm like, I know. And I did the same thing with my mom. And she's like, so what are you going to tell me? Like, I can't buy eggs now? Like, now I got to buy this? I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you there's options. Like, there's options. There's legitimately options. Before, there was a time when I tried veganism, and I was just not educated at all. So I do feel that whenever it's really done by example, whenever I'm cooking for them and I'm showing them how it's done, they're able to take a few things. My mom's like, oh, what did you do the other day? Like that thing again, can you do that? And I've just been noticing in the last 7 years that there's been a slow but ongoing progress. Yes.
Yeah.
My house has gone from, you know, Kool-Aids and Minute Maids and gummy gushers. And now they're doing like sugar processed granola bars. And I'm like, still bad, but it's an improvement.
I think once you move off the gushers, you've improved on it.
Oh, goodness.
And the Kool-Aid. I mean, yeah, I was a Kool-Aid kid as well, so.
My little siblings came at me like, messing up our childhood. And I'm like, I'm trying to save you. Like, they get mad. Once I moved out, they were like, go. You and your food can just go. And I was like, love y'all. Y'all cool.
I love that. There's a slow creep you're noticing into the family nutrition.
It's happening. They have no choice. Yeah. And I already told them, I was like, in the future, I mean, I don't know how far down we're looking at this, but I would not be surprised if down the line people are really trying to sneak around meat like it's drugs, because they're going to have to create some sort of law regulation to help our planet. you know, they're going to have to create something, you know, stuff's getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand. And if systems are not put in place, eventually there's not going to be anything left for our children. Nothing.
Tell us, is that kind of what helped you make the decision to go plant-based? Like what kind of made you do that final, okay, I'm all in?
It was definitely my future. It was definitely the incident that occurred with my brother. He suffered a coronary attack, super rare, super random, and we have no idea what could have caused it because he was in full health, you know? And it just really made me just do a complete test of my own consciousness and be like, okay, right, like, I feel like you're doing well, but you could just really be doing so much better. And I've always said to myself, you know, once I moved out of my parents' house, because the food that's circulating there is not what I'm eating, then I should be in control of that. So I gotta do what I said I would do. And very much so for my children. I am not a mother. I definitely want to have kids in the future, but I do believe that, you know, they deserve to have a beach to go to, and they deserve to have trees to climb on. And the fact that stuff's getting set on fire and like we got to be swimming next to Coca-Cola bottles, it's just ridiculous at this point. So yeah, this is what it's all about. You just got to look forward. I know that a lot has happened in the past, but we have to stop lamenting and just be present and move forward as a world, you know, as a society altogether.
So how do you push through fear? Like taking on this company all your own, this is what you're going to do. You've got some naysayers in the background.
Ooh, I have a lot of accountability partners. I have my boyfriend. I have about 3 of my best friends. 2 of them are on the other side of the world. I have people that I can actually call and have full on tantrums. I'm talking about I am crying and losing it. And they're like, you done? Are you good? Get it together. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can do this. All right, next, you know, because it's a lot. It really is. It really is a lot. And I've lived life. You know, I've had my own personal experiences that have had very, very fearful moments, you know, very life-changing, fearful moments. And because of those moments, it's just helped me grow really thick skin. I do believe that the number one person that I fear the most is myself, because my name, Nelma, it means light. So when I'm off, it's off. Like it's just, you just imagine your shadow self taking over, and it's just the worst side of yourself. And I feel like all of us as humans should fear our worst sides. We have to embrace our worst sides so that we can know how to handle it, you know?
Yeah, we have to be aware of them.
Yeah, pushing through fears, pushing through myself, pushing through my own stubbornness, pushing through my own doubts. Like, I am so capable, and I need to push through when there's a little voice telling me that I'm not, because that voice has no idea what they're talking about.
That was such a beautiful visual. I was just
Thank you.
Yeah, the worst side of me is not, that's who
I feel like
that version of ourselves.
Yeah, like the conversation that we have with ourselves in our mind, like I really had to take account of that and be like, dang, like you're not the nicest person in here. You need to be better. Like, let's change this, you know? And one of my best friends, she's the one who talked to me about mirror work and just getting in front of a mirror and having a conversation with yourself. Tell yourself you love yourself, look at your curves, appreciate it, you know, just all of that, and putting that into practice, putting those rituals into practice as well. You know, there are certain things that everybody does every day to keep themselves going, whether that's meditation, prayer, exercise, writing. I do it all. I play with my cat, you know, whatever helps you just not be mean to yourself inside your own mind, because that's where your fears really do begin, not from anyone else. I it's taken a long time to just naturally stop listening to what people have to say, because I'm just getting started. And if I do take in everything that they say, it's going to crush me. So I've definitely had to learn how to just
I feel like that in itself is like your own superpower. And when anyone, men or women, can learn that, it's such a huge thing. Especially, I mean, when you graduate from school and then you're taking the plunge to become an entrepreneur and start your own business, I mean, that's just like, that's not saying take the load off of your shoulders. You're putting a whole hell of a load onto your shoulders. And so did any of that, talking about fear and stuff, did you ever think, I'm crazy for doing this? Or did you just know this is what I have to do?
I've been convinced that I've been crazy for a very long time. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we all are to some degree.
Yeah, it's like, if I'm not crazy, then I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's like you have to lose it just a little bit in order to be fearless.
Craziest, scary crazies don't know they're crazy. So I think when you know you're crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. It's like whenever I'm acting crazy, like let's say that I'm angry and I'm acting crazy, and I'm like, I'm not being crazy. You know, that's when it's like, no, you're being crazy. But when I'm actually in the action of entrepreneurship, I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done. Why am I doing this? I could have gotten a job. I could have been an executive chef. I could have had Michelin stars by now. Why am I doing this? Like, why? Like, why? And yeah, like that is there literally every single day. And, but yeah, like I embrace the crazy. I really do. Yeah, I really do. It brings out the creativity, you know, and sometimes it's great because you're just like, whoa, wait, what if I do just mix these two things and something is going to happen? Because when you plant-based, you really are just making shit up as you go. You really are. Yeah. And just hoping it tastes good. You're really hoping it tastes good. So there's
this component of like adrenaline and curiosity and creativity. I mean, and that doesn't go away. That makes you want to wake up and, you know, go to work every day. So
for sure. When I was in the third grade, we had, you know, career assignment. I remember this so deeply because my teacher was so mean. Like, she was so mean. Her name was Mrs. Sanders, and I told her that when I grew up, I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to be a scientist. And she laughed so hard in my face. I was like, dang. Like you said.
Listen, lady, if you're watching now.
I know, Mrs. Sanders, it's happening. Hey, you remember me? But yeah, like she told me that like that was not about to happen. And I remember when I first went into the tour for culinary school, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, I am realizing my self-fulfilled prophecy. I'm going to be an artist and a scientist at the same time. Oh my, like it was everything. It really felt, you know, purpose fulfilling. And it just doesn't stop there, you know, like you find purpose and you think like, okay, I found purpose, I'm done. No, it just keeps growing and evolving into something that you never really expected it to become. But it's what's meant for you. So just embrace it, for sure.
That's right. And when someone tells you no, use that fuel to light your fire and keep going.
I've been using it since I was a kid. Like my mom told me, like she's always said I was a natural rebel. Like I've been talking back since I could talk. And that has worked in my favor sometimes and not worked in my favor sometimes. So now I'm learning to use that veracity in a more, you know, positive direction and a more positive, you know, way.
Do you write all of your recipes down, and is there a goal of a cookbook one day? Or, I mean, I know everything's so digital, but like I still love pulling out a good cookbook when I'm in the kitchen.
Yes. So like I am so old-fashioned when it comes to books. Like I don't know if I can, here, let me see if I can show you guys. This right here, I have a collection of books. Like anything that I have to do or write or, you know, learn, I try to get it in physical form. And, you know, everyone's been telling me like, get something on Amazon, like do something, da 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 da. And I'm just like, okay, I just have to organize myself. I just really have to organize myself. The recipes are in my mind. It's all in there. Like I said, I just transitioned to vegan or fully plant-based vegan about 3 months ago. So now I'm looking into creating, you know, Angolan and Mediterranean versions of my plates, because those are like, you know, the plates that I grew up with. And through that, that's where the cookbook will be coming from. And there's actually a very interesting timeline and concept that I want to involve in that. So yes, let's be on the lookout for that.
Awesome.
That sounds so delicious. I love it. And I love having the plant-based options as well, because I mean, even people who are, you know, regular full-on meat eaters, it's really good to try new recipes and, you know, just incorporate one night a week into your diet. Start there.
Exactly.
You know, and see how it actually tastes. It can be, you know, people are like, oh no, that probably tastes like cardboard, or it doesn't taste like anything. Some people have that feeling, but then when they try an omelet that maybe or maybe not was not made with eggs,
Exactly.
they'd enjoy it.
Exactly. And I do believe that that's really the biggest issue. I don't understand how this is the issue now, though, in 2020, you know, because in 2013, there was nothing around. Like, there was really nothing around. And I had to get creative back then. And I still wasn't great at it. But today, there are so many options. There's really so many options when it comes to being vegan. And I just feel that people, it's all about information at the end of the day. I have said this and I will continue to say it. Like, it's just all about information. If people know that it's there, they might gravitate towards it more. Even if, you know, like I told my mom, I'm like, I had blueberry almond milk. She's like, blueberry almond? And I'm like, it's the best thing I ever had. You have to drink it. She tried it and she was like, and I was like, yeah, you don't have to drink cow's milk. Look at that. Like, it's so crazy. Like, people are really out here just creating the craziest of stuff, and it's delicious and nutritious. Just switch. Yeah. Are you guys plant-based, or are you guys, what are you guys?
I'm not, but you know what's interesting is my mom was vegetarian like my whole life growing up, which was like early 90s. And so I don't eat a lot of meat only because I didn't have exposure to it as a kid. And it's funny hearing you say there wasn't a lot in 2013. I think about what she was doing in the early 90s, trying to like be a full-fledged vegetarian. She wasn't vegan, but yeah. I mean, Morning Star, all of that stuff wasn't around. It was she was making her own black bean patties and like.
Exactly. Can you imagine, like 30 years ago, you're just like, one day people are going to do this too. Right. Like,
I remember it was Vegetarian Times. It was a magazine that came to our house, and she was trying a new recipe every time that thing.
Oh my God. And it's so beautiful when like the world starts catching up with like where your mind is at, because I can only imagine that must have also been quite isolating for her.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know what, I mean, I was 10, so I don't know what made her suddenly want.
I mean, yeah, everybody has their reasons for it. I mean, once I got my cat Luna, I was like,
Yep.
It's got legs, can't do it no more.
No.
Can't do it.
Nelma, what are some benefits of going plant-based, just for some of our viewers who are tuning in and have, you know, may not know?
So if you do struggle with, you know, high blood pressure, if you struggle with, you know, obesity, if you struggle with acne, if you struggle with any issue that is associated with you being a little bit overweight, this is going to transform your life. The first 21 days are going to be hell. Yes, prepare yourself. It's going to suck because that's how many days it takes to build a habit. But then it's smooth sailing. One thing that I have struggled with all my life, especially us women, I have had very heavy cycles. It's been tremendously painful. I am not someone that believes in birth control just because, you know, like I want to have children. I don't know. I haven't studied it enough to know about it enough, you know? So I just was never active with using birth control. And so my cycles have always been very regular and very, very, very painful. In the last 2 months, it's been so smooth. It's been so, like, it's been shocking how smooth it has been. I used to have horrible acne. I like my skin. I have a little bit of makeup on, but my skin is very
Gorgeous.
smooth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And more than that, it's the energy that you feel. You feel crazy good energy. You can eat super full meals and not pass out with the itis, you know, like you really do have good energy. I will say this, for the girls that love being super curvy, you're gonna lose some weight. This is the issue that I am going with right now. I've lost about 11 pounds since I've gone vegan, and I'm so glad my man loves me, because I'm over here like, oh my God, where's my ass? Like, I'm so upset, but it's gonna come back. And, you know, it's another phase in the season of my life. And, you know, like, you know, your body is always changing. You just need to just naturally accept that. But it has so many more benefits than anything else. Like, you're not taking in the stress of someone else's death, if that's the best way that I can describe it, because these animals, you know, they're going through a lot of stress, you know, they're living out a very stressed out life. So you're absorbing that energy. So once you really notice a difference, it's a crazy difference. Because of my brother's incident, everyone in the family went to the cardiologist back in December to do a proper checkup. And back then I was about 3 weeks in with vegan, and I'm the healthiest person in my family. I used to be anemic, and they would always say you have to eat red meat so you don't have anemia anymore. But I've been on the crazy beans and lentils game, and my anemia is gone. You know, but it's also about maintaining. It really is about maintaining. You got to eat right. You got to know your macros. You got to know your nutrients. You got to know what you have to be putting into your body. And for those that are trying to maintain their weight, you got to eat a lot. So, yeah.
That's incredible. Just to hear what you've improved on in 3 months. I mean, 3 months is not a long time to see some of these improvements. I mean, you know, you mentioned acne. You mentioned, you know, I know you're kind of going through the transition of your body, but for some people, just losing weight can be very hard for them.
Yes.
But a dietary change, you know, can bring something different that they've never tried before,
Yeah.
that can make it easier.
Yes, the mental clarity is insane.
Wow.
I wake up around 5:30 a.m. I can go to bed by 10:30. Maybe if I've had a long day, I'll throw in a nap, but I have full energy. You know, maybe I'll have a B12, you know, pick me up or something, but I have full energy for the whole day. And I'm really trying to get everybody on this, because I'm like, yeah, we are out here. Like, I sometimes have so much energy, I don't know what to do with myself. So I have to go to the gym, or I go to yoga, or I go to I'm very physically active, you know, like, and then my boyfriend's all the way in San Diego. I don't have anything to do with that. So I'm just like, I need to exert energy. And it's not just body energy, it's also brain energy. Like, you get to work, you get your goals done, you're more focused, you know. And for someone like me that has ADHD, you know, like, it has tremendously helped. And I'm not medicated. I'm not taking any pharmaceuticals for my brain health.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that about ADHD, and that how this has helped to bring clarity and things like that, and a focused energy. Did you wean yourself off of animal products and things like that, or did you just go cold turkey? What worked for you?
I want to say it was a wean, but it was quite seasonal. It was kind of seasonal. After the summer, I just kind of stopped with red meat. I just noticed that I really wasn't eating red meat that much. And the clients that I was working with at the time, they were also doing primarily pescatarian. So, you know, whenever I was able to get their food, I would be able to get my little shrimps in there. So by the time we got to, you know, just stopping, it was mostly just like fish, cheese, dairy. And once I stopped, I was like, you know, I struggled a little bit. I want to say like the first month for sure. There was still times when I was not prepared. It was right around the holidays. So Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year's were just, it was hell. It was hell. It was really, really hell. A lot of Angolan food that I was just like, dang, this sucks. But it was interesting. But I was happy to do it. But weaning is a lot easier. I suggest people wean. Don't go cold turkey. Especially as a woman, for myself, whenever my cycle comes up, I don't know, like I get meat cravings because it's like I'm losing iron. So it's like I'm craving things that have iron. And so I used to have my steaks like really bloody. So that's where that comes from. So I always say to women, like, just try to wean yourself off of it. Make sure that you're supplementing and you're taking your daily vitamins. That way you're not being malnourished.
I feel like I just want to like go change my whole diet tomorrow. It's like my 21-day start, and
let's do it. Let's do it. Accountability, but
I mean, because you're so right. I think it's easy to grab the sugary foods. They're here, the processed. And when I eat like that, and I feel like I've said this before, I just know how run down I am. I'm tired. I want to go to bed earlier. I have no energy to do anything. And you're right. When you are eating properly, your body is happy.
Yeah.
From the
inside.
It's
so interesting because I guess because I was so weight obsessed before, I've never been one for snacking. If I do like chocolates and sweets and stuff, it's usually like around my cycle. But if I want a snack, I'm just like tangerines. I want fruit. Like in the house with my parents, me and my mom would be like the fruit people. And now it's all smoothies. Like anytime I need anything, I'm just like smoothie here, smoothie there, smoothie everywhere. Like I'm a fruit person. I absolutely love snacking on fruits and veggies, which is just, nobody gets it. They're like, you're so weird. My siblings are like, you're so weird. But I'm just like, hey, like, I like it. And it's crazy because you can even make those, you know, you can make yourself a, you know, nutritional Snickers, so to say, a nutritional Twix, so to say. I just really feel like it also has a lot to do with time. When you don't have time for it, that's the other reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to make sure that I had the time to be there for myself, be there for myself mentally, spiritually, and physically, be there for my family. And after this incident happened with my brother, going into a 9-to-5 just seems quite undoable and not sustainable for me because I'm so family focused. I will not maintain a job if I was to just be like, all right, I'm going to take a break and just join the workforce, you know?
Yeah.
What would you, sorry, go ahead, Shauna.
No, you go. You might be asking the same question, so.
Okay. Nelma, what would you say to somebody who is like, you know, I really want to try this. Can you help guide me? But I'm afraid I'm not going to have the time. I'm not going to have the energy. And I have no idea where to start.
Okay. Let's start with Meatless Mondays.
Ooh, you know? I like it.
Yes, start with Meatless Mondays. And if not Meatless Mondays, then just start adding more greens to your food in general. Houston, I don't know about you guys, but Houston lives for the weekend. Everybody is like Monday blues all the way up to Friday. And then it's like everybody wants to live for the weekend. And instead of people taking the time on Sunday to just self-care Sunday and do a little bit of meal prepping, they want to go party. They want to get that last bit before they have to go back into Monday. But it's just like, well, you can do both. You can actually do both. You know, if you finish brunch by 3 p.m., you can get home and meal prep, you know, and you're good to go. But a lot of people don't want to do that. But I do say start with Meatless Mondays. Just choose one day of the week to just not eat meat. Get a salad, go somewhere that you wouldn't go usually and pick like a vegetarian or vegan option and just try it. I feel like people are too picky of eaters. It's good for my job because it's tailored. And so if my clients don't want something, it works. But if you are going to try to transition to veganism, you got to open up your palate. I hate garbanzo beans. I got so many garbanzo beans in the pantry right now. I got to eat it. You know what I mean? Because if you're not going to get it from somewhere. If you're going to keep eating the same thing, you're going to get sick of the food you're eating.
Yeah.
So you got to be versatile. You got to be very versatile. But yeah, Meatless Mondays is definitely my number. Yeah.
Ooh, good one. All right.
We kind of shared offline before we went live with you the meaning behind the red bra and how we got started. And we kind of think of it as, you know, that confidence, whether you wear it under your clothes or outside. So what would you say, you know, in reflecting on your life was one of your red bra moments?
My red bra moment was definitely graduating culinary school. I had a lot of men tell me I wasn't going to. Yes, not my father, luckily, but I had a lot of men. Yes, I had a very toxic ex-boyfriend who just told me that I wasn't going to be anything, honestly. And I was like, oh, set me on fire. Set me on fire. I'm going to burn. I'm going to rise. Like, I'm going to rise. And that was a moment because my sister, try not to get emotional. My sister approached me. She hugged me so deeply. And she's like, you remember what Dylan said? And I was like, yeah, man, fuck that guy. Like, I did it. I really did it. I celebrated all weekend. I got alcohol poisoning after that, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. It was so worth
for the weekend.
You know? That was my red bra moment for sure. It was graduating. With Naturally Nelma, it's a continuous red bra moment, you know, like not giving up on my company every single day really, really means a lot to me because I am still learning how to be a businesswoman. I'm a chef. I'm a skilled chef. I don't consider myself, you know, business strategist and numbers. And, you know, that's why I have my partner for. But when it comes to this, I'm just like, I'm the creative brain, you know, I'm the Steve Jobs of the operation. But, you know, to be able to maintain the numbers, to be able to maintain the business, you know, there's so much more that has to come with that. And every little success in that totally counts for everything. Getting my logo digitized meant so much, you know. Really taking that step to be vegan was, it was a power move for sure, but more than anything, it was definitely graduating. My next red bra moment will be when I become a yoga instructor, because, you know, I want this to be a lifestyle, a wellness and lifestyle brand. I want people to see that, yes, you can eat this food, you can do this exercise, meditate a little bit, and you're gonna feel good, you know? And if I've gone through so much, you know, then, and I can do this, then anybody can really do it, because it's a really simple recipe. All you have to do is love yourself, take care of yourself, and be yourself. And that's it.
So good. That's so good.
I am so glad we found you and we have virtually met you. And
I'm so glad you guys like honestly reached out, because I have honestly been feeling like people need to hear more positivity. I don't watch the news because there's nothing good to see. Nothing good to see. So if we can do this through, you know, social media outlets, if we can, you know, spread as much love and light out there, let's do it. Let's all do it.
Absolutely. Tell our viewers where they can find you. Your website's beautiful, by the way. You have your blog up and going. So tell them all about it.
Yes. You guys can find me. You guys can find me on naturallynelma.com. I am also on WordPress. I believe it's www.wordpress.com/naturallynelma. I am also on IG and Twitter. Everything is Naturally Nelma. My website is currently being refurbished because we have something really amazing coming up for you guys. We are transitioning out of the, you know, meat eating website to a plant-based website, and whenever this comes up, it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a revolutionary movement whenever we come out with this new concept. And I'm very excited to bring it out. It's taking forever, but it's going to happen. But yes, I am located here in Houston, Texas. We are currently working on creating online programs so that people can have access to this information, not just here in Houston, but, you know, all over the world, because we got to get the message out there for sure.
Definitely. Nelma, we end every show with a quote, and I have one for you tonight that I think is so fitting. It is by Babe Ruth, actually, about perseverance.
I want to write this down.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I have, it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. And just reading everything about you and hearing tonight your story, I think that's fitting so much, because you are a woman who will not quit. And we are excited to see what is to come for you. And we will definitely be highlighting your recipe book when it happens, and your new website, and all of these great things that you are doing. And we just thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys, for having me here. I am going to be just posting so much about you guys, because I believe that what you guys are doing is so important. You know, I feel like we're in this trendy society where we speak about empowering women, but it's not always entirely happening. So to see you ladies doing something like this, I look up to this, and it's something that I plan to do with myself. So I appreciate you. Yes.
My hearts are always so wonky, but I mean that. It's from my heart.
Well, the heart is actually misshapen, so maybe yours is more accurate.
No, so be it. But thank you so much for all of that, Nelma. And I mean, like Shauna said, it's been awesome to connect with you. And I think that bringing the whole education about what being plant-based means and how that makes you feel, and how that, you know, you can incorporate that into your lifestyle, and just hearing your own journey is so freaking inspiring. And I mean, I feel like, Shauna, once again, I feel like all of our guests, we have to have a part 2 and invite them back, because it's like we can dig into the entrepreneur side, and what did you think as a student when you were graduating, and you know, you wear the creativity hat, but you know that you have to have a partner to handle the other things that it's okay, I can't do and I don't want to do. So thank you so much.
So much, and so much more to come. It's going to be so great. And yes, we're going to stay in touch for sure. Keep each other updated on everything that's going on, and just keep growing as a whole. Let's do it.
My heart is so full tonight, and I'm eating veggies tomorrow. Yay!
You can't overdose. You can.
Right. My mom would be so proud. She'd be like, I've been trying to tell you since you were 10. So.
Yes.
Well, to all our viewers and our followers, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will link all of Nelma's information for you through our blog and through this post here, so that you can get connected as well. If you're not following her, we'll just end this episode and go follow her, because obviously you can see why you need to. So if you're not following us, though, click that bell and hit the subscribe button, so that you get updated on our episodes and get to meet beautiful and wonderfully inspiring women like Nelma. And we just hope to see you back here. Thank you for episode 50, Nelma. This is exciting.
Thank you, guys. Episode 50.
Yay!
Yay!
Have a great night.
Bye, guys.